Good morning to everyone. Welcome to our discussion session. So we are here to discuss contents for our problems on dying forests. So as you are all aware, 20% of the forest in our country was dying. So if nothing is done to ease the problems, they will soon to be impossible to control. So today, we are going to discuss some ideas on solutions to the problem. So thank you, Hong Lei, Xingyi, and Hui Zhong for coming to our session today. So before we talk on how to solve the problems, which is stop or reduce the destruction of forests, uh, we have just identified a primary factor of the dying forest, isn't it, Singy?
Yes, based on our research, we find out that the automobile emission is the primary factor of dying forests. A leading scientist has estimated that unless auto emissions are reduced, 60% of the trees in the country forests will be killed or damaged within 4 years. So I suggest that the motorists should reduce their speed less than 70 so that the emission can be reduced. How do you think, Rita?
Um,
Mm, no, I don't agree with it. In my opinion, the main cause of deforestation is agriculture, which refers to poorly planned infrastructure emerging as a big threat tool. The construction of human infrastructures has been driving deforestation. Specifically, 10% of deforestation can be attributed to new infrastructures that serve the current human lifestyle in transportation, transformation, and energy generation. On one hand, roads, rails, ports, or airports have been built to move all sorts of goods such as um, cereals and fuels to spark minerals or fossil fuels to trade centers or to transformation sites. So, while at first there were only fruit trees, roads soon arrived to allow transporting fruit to other regions. And while some goods were and are collected manually, others such as coal, oil, natural gas, biomass, but also meat, dairy or spirits require the construction of large extraction, transportation or transformation infrastructures. So this is what I think it is the main cause of destruction of forests.
oh yes, that's logical. But Hui Zhong, how do we to fix it?
Mm, in my opinion, we need to raise awareness among the citizens. Major environmental problems such as destruction of the forest often continue to occur because of a lack of awareness and knowledge about the problem. By educating the people about the effects of their actions, such as palm oil consumption, illegal logging, conducting open burning, and many more, the amount of destruction of the forest can be reduced. Better awareness and education is important even in the case of farmers. Education of local farmers about optimizing their land management will ensure that less forest area need to be cleared for farming. That's what I suggest. So what's your opinion?
Oh, thank you, Hui Zhong. I think that's great. So in my opinion, that's we all of us are the citizen. We have to be responsible to the place we live in. So not just blaming the motorists. So I suggest that one of the ways we can do is by buying the forest-friendly products, so such as the shaded ground coffee and also some recycled products. So using our purchasing power in a high impact way to prevent the deforestation. So besides that, we also purchasing the supporting paper recycling facilities and reducing the amount of waste entering landfills. Therefore, try to purchasing your next items made by recycled paper and environments will be thank for you. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Oh, yes, that's great. So, are you agree about that, Singi?
Yeah, I agree that I also have some other idea to save our forest. It is we can suggest uh, every citizen to plant a tree in their house. So because planting tree is a great and fun activity for family, and people people can have uh, and people need to make sure they picking the right tree, because some tree has a complex root system, so it might damage their building. And the next idea is I suggest the government to conserve forests and create parks, and also oppose destructive suburban sprout and other development. Volunteer with a local land trust or park and recreation department, or consider a conservation and easement if you own forest land.
So, yes, I think you all is I agree about the main factor is the construction of human infrastructures. So, let's simply to conclude and no, let's simply to discuss. Let's make it simple by discussing it one by one. So first, we agree that the main factor is the construction of human infrastructures. So next, we are all people to be responsible. So first, we need to raise awareness by educating people about the effects of their actions, especially the construction of human infrastructures. And then next, as the citizen and people, we need to buy the forest friendly products and use recycled products to stop or reduce the deforestation of the forest. And then next, we need to suggest citizens to plant a tree in their home, and then suggest government to conserve trees and forests in our country. So for the citizens and government need to be responsible for the deforestation of forests. So and then uh, what is your another idea? What is your other ideas for deforestation, for stopping the deforestation? Hong Lei?
Oh, yeah. I think government also play an um, important role in this kind of matters. So, corrupt governments are often paid off by illegal logging companies to ignore their activities. Reduction of corruption will go a long way towards reducing deforestation overall. So, in many poorer countries, the lack of police presence and law enforcement means that illegal deforestation often goes unpunished and unnoticed for many years, even though it is destroying the forest. And also the country economy and the resource wealth. So I think it is important that government paid the most important role for this kind of matters. So what do you think,
Oh,
Li Ling? Yeah.
yes, I think we the government need to aware of this, and then and do some better solution for the this corruption to solve the to fight the corruption among in the government. And then do you have any ideas, Hui Zhong, for stopping the forest deforestation?
Mm, I think this is the responsible of all the citizens, um, uh, including all of us lah. Like we must take our we must have self-awareness and take our own roles in protecting the forest and to avoid the action that may harm to the forest. This what I think.
Oh, yes. So, um, the main thing is responsible. So we all are the citizens for the country. So we need to be responsible for stopping the destruction of the forest. And
Yes,
then,
yes.
um, what do you have any ideas to, Singi, for this problem?
Ah, yeah. Maybe we can we can encourage people to use the paper wisely, because we know that uh, when produce the paper, many tree will be cut down. So people need to use the paper wisely. So my suggestion is that we can use the scrap paper for coloring and drawing or technique when study, and we can use the paper after one side is filled. We can use the another side to reuse it again. So it's, it can reduce the paper usage, and also we can use handkerchief or cloth or napkin instead of tissue, because tissue is also made of tree. And one more thing is people can use and can choose a reusable lunchbox for school and nursery instead of a paper or plastic bag, complete with reusable container, metal metal utensils, and cloth napkin, and reusable water bottle. Yeah.
Mm, okay. So that's your idea.
Yes.
And I think for so um, we need to let's go back to our main topics, which is to solve the dying forest. And then so firstly, we need to um, fight the government corruption, and then we need to be responsible for stopping or reducing the destruction of the forest. And then next, we need to encourage people to live in a way that doesn't hurt the environment, such as don't waste the paper, and then use scrap paper, and use handkerchief, use the paper wisely, and then for stopping the destruction of the forest. And for so I think for the solution, we can have more solution, which is restore the damaged ecosystem by planting trees on land, which is to solve the main reason, which is the construction of human infrastructures. So the government need to restore damaged ecosystem by planting trees on land and then establish parks to protect forests and wildlife. The government also can support companies that operate in ways that minimize damage to the environment. So, and then any ideas for the for stopping the destruction of forest? Anyone?
Yes, I think I also got another opinion on this. So the first is not only the government and also the residential. So other than that, NGOs also play an important role um, in these deforestation problems. So NGOs like the Tree Foundation, the Natural Conservancy, and Rainforest Action Network offset deforestation and conserve treated ecosystem around the world. So in the absence of effective and environmentally friendly governance in many areas, NGOs provide important organizations and monetary support for a variety of conservation efforts. Um, Besides of that, we also can join a community forestry project. So, for example, as a local residents, we can become a volunteer to support the government to plant tree. So we can involving in tree planting, timber harvesting, cleaning, and forest conservation too. So what do you think?
So I think is I couldn't agree more with you. And then yes, so the NGO is also a part of our society. So NGO will be need to be responsible for the destruction of the forest because forest is playing the important roles for our environment. So um, so any ideas again? And so what about I think what about the education? For the education, we need to do what type of things to educate the people? Hui Zhong?
Mm, uh, in my opinion, like mm, not only at school lah, like in other ways of education, like in social media, through advertisement or through brochure flyers, like to increase the self awareness among the community, among the citizens about their responsible or about the ways to protect the forest, like in a simple way lah, or through newspapers or through news. This is what I think. Do you agree?
Yes, I think that's true. There's the most important things, which is education is the most important for people, for the human to learn something from the problems and mistakes.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and then, uh, and Hong Lei, can you give some example for forest-friendly products?
Forest-friendly product, I think like recycled paper, like just now, Cindy had mentioned it. So we need to like use the scrap paper and also like handkerchief or napkins. Yeah, just don't want to use the paper tissue that on and using the lunchbox. Don't want to use plastic bag, and that things. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Um, so what about uh, conserve? So I think the automobile emission is one of the factor, but not the main factor. The main factor is the construction of human infrastructure, and we need to educate people for stopping and for stopping or reducing the destruction of the forest. And so, well, that's all that's all for our discussion today. I would like to thank you for coming and contributing to our fruitful discussion. So, till then, bye.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.